Hi, and welcome back to U.S. History with Mr. Snyder. Today we're going to enter the 1990s a little further and talk about Clinton's presidency. Your learning targets today are to explain why Bill Clinton wins the presidency in 1992. We'll talk about Clinton's domestic policies, the 1994 backlash against Democrats with the Contract of America, and we'll discuss the Clinton impeachment. So the 1992 presidential election, remember George H.W. Bush is running for a second term against William Jefferson Clinton, or Bill Clinton. He's the governor of Arkansas, and he is promoted by the party as a new Democrat. He doesn't want to be a very liberal. He sought to reconcile liberal and conservative ideas. So he also likes a strong national defense. He's tough on crime. He is for free trade, which we'll talk about next section, what that means. He's for welfare reform and more cooperation with corporations. And William Jefferson Clinton wins the election because the American economy is suffering from large budget deficits, not necessarily because of George H.W. Bush, but because of Reagan's 8 years before him. So Bush, in order to cut back on those deficits, goes back on his 1998 promise and raises taxes. So even though that's good for the economy and the country, still people don't like to have taxes raised. And so he basically broke his promise and he loses the 1992 presidential election. Ross Perot is another reason he loses, because he takes away votes from Bush. You can see the popular vote pie chart on the right. He takes away a lot of votes from Bush, and he's one of the biggest third-party candidates we've ever had. He almost gets 20% of the popular vote. Clinton wins, and Democrats also retain control of the House and the Senate. So we have a unified government, and it'll be very easy to get things passed. So in the Clinton presidency, he signs the Family Medical Leave Act, bringing us up to date with other developed countries. It basically guarantees employees, if they need to take time off for a childbirth, illness, or an ill family member, they are guaranteed 12 weeks, and they can come back and have their job waiting for them. He also, some other things he did, he raised the minimum wage, he made getting a college loan easier, and he gave bigger tax credits if you were in higher education. And he also tried to reform the health care system, but he could not, because Americans did not want their government to run health care. And we have to wait until our next Democratic president, Obama, for any health care reform to finally get passed. And he does that in 2010. In 1993, Clinton also signs the Brady Bill, which is a very, very wide-reaching gun control act that it requires a waiting period, and it institutes a national background check system. But Americans are obsessed with violence in the 1990s. We have all these new violent video games. In 1995, a government building is bombed in Oklahoma City by anti-government extremists. So this is like domestic terrorism. And then there's the 1999 Columbine shooting in Colorado at a high school. 2 students killed 12 other students than themselves. Just because they were outcasts or bullied and basically decided to fight back. And so because of this, schools institute zero tolerance policies on school violence, and they also institute anti-bullying programs. And it's now a law in Indiana. They have bullying laws. I guess I should say anti-bullying laws. So in 1994, there is a Republican, the lead Republican, his name is Newt Gingrich. He's the Speaker of the House, and he leads the opposition to Bill Clinton. And his idea for 1994 is he's going to create a contract with America. He says if you elect Republicans, we're going to balance the federal budget, we will institute welfare reform, give tax cuts, make government smaller, and institute term limits for congressmen. So in the 1994 elections, because of Bill Clinton's liberal policies, Republicans win control of the House for the first time in 40 years, and they also capture the Senate. So now we have a divided government with a Democratic president and a Republican Congress. People felt that Clinton abandoned his new Democrat promises and was just plain Democrat. So in the 1996 presidential election, Bill Clinton is a brilliant politician. He plays it cool. He brings the country out of the recession, and the economy rose rapidly. He does move more towards the center to gain Republican votes and middle independent votes. He also has low inflation, low unemployment, and close to balanced budget. So if the economy is working, why change our president? Clinton is chosen over Bob Dole, World War II hero, and his policies just weren't good enough. He couldn't overcome Clinton because Clinton's economy was booming, mostly in part to the computer and technology revolution and dot-com stocks, but that's he was in the right place at the right time. Clinton dodged a lot of scandals throughout his time in office. When he was governor of Arkansas, he allegedly sexually harassed a government employee, Paula Jones, and so he has to deal with that. And that case actually goes to the Supreme Court on whether or not you can sue the president in office. The answer is yes, if the act is unrelated to his time in office. Him and his wife possibly made illegal investments in Whitewater Corporation, a housing corporation in Arkansas. So a man named Kenneth Starr is appointed to investigate this Whitewater case. And he doesn't find any evidence of Clinton's guilt, but while investigating, he does uncover something else. Starr investigated Clinton's personal relationship with an unpaid White House intern, Ms. Monica Lewinsky. And he publishes all of his info in the Starr report. And everything Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky is in the Starr report. Clinton actually has lied under oath that the two had an affair. And later Clinton admitted he had lied. And so that is perjury, lying under oath. So that is a serious crime, and Starr recommends impeachment. And so because of this volatile politics between Democrats and Republicans, Republicans jump on the chance and they impeach Clinton. He is only the second president ever to be impeached. And impeached just means brought up on charges. It doesn't mean thrown out of office. The Clinton charges were perjury and obstruction of justice because they're investigating his scandals and he is lying about it. So that's not telling the truth. Most Americans, though, felt impeachment was too harsh because he didn't lie to get out of trouble. He lied because he was embarrassed he had an affair. And so Clinton was acquitted on both counts, or he was found not guilty and not thrown out of office. And so those are your learning targets for today. Fill them out. I'll see you back here in class. Have a good night. Bye-bye.